Hello everybody, I am AngryBird. So we're continuing our coverage of the Brawl on Brest tournament, and today's game we have for you Xenon.Gun versus Gardinha. So if we look at the preview here, the winner of this game will go on to face Here Robert in the semi-final. Xenon.Gun is playing the 21st Panzer Division on a balanced income, and Gardinha, he's playing the 2nd Guards Tank Corps on Juggernaut income. This is the first time we're ever casting a Juggernaut income game, so this one might be quite interesting. However, Juggernaut 2nd Guards Tank Corps, they have to find a way to get through the Tigers of 21st Panzer, and with balanced income that clearly means Xenon.Gun's going to keep those Tigers from the end for the end of the game. We've got 2 in B phase and 4 in C phase, so Gardinha is going to have to get through 6 Tigers, and that's going to be a real tough challenge. The 21st Panzer, they're going to have to deal with a number of T-34s, and potentially with Juggernaut income it could be a real overwhelming number of T-34s as well. Outside of the 6 Tigers, we've got what? 19 Panzer IV-Hs in total and 4 Panzer M4s. So not an overwhelming number of tanks. There are 6 Pak 3850s and 4 Pak 43s, but really with the number of T-34s that could come onto this field, potentially Gardinha, he might be able to kind of overwhelm Xenon.Gun here, and I guess that's what he's going to go for. The 2 players setting up, and on the left hand side we can see Xenon.Gun. He's setting up a whole line of Pak 38s with some MG42s. So it looks like he's going to play very defensively at the start of the game, which is kind of surprising because he has the greater income at the start. Very odd to see Juggernaut being played. So let's switch over to the Juggernaut deck. The 2nd Guards Tank Corps, like I said, they're going to have to rely on the T-34-85s, but they will have a number of them. 59 tanks in total, compared to what about the 25 Panzer IV-Hs and M4s, you know, not taking into account those Tigers. So Gardinha has around about double the number of tanks that Xenon.Gun has, but those 6 Tigers, they're going to be the tanks that Gardinha has to defeat, and he's going to have to find a way to do that. I think the big guns are going to be the ZIS-2 guns, the SU-85s and the ISUs. They're going to be the anti-tank guns and the anti-tank equipment, you know, that Xenon.Gun, that Gardinha is probably going to rely on the most to take out those Tigers. I think in terms of infantry, Gardinha is kind of playing it normal, like probably a normal balanced or even a Vanguard deck would play this game. So it really is going to come down to the tank game. He does have a large number of artillery with 16 F-22s in B phase and another 12 in C phase, so a hell of a lot of artillery pieces. Potentially that's going to be another investment in Juggernaut, and potentially he's just going to try and artillery the Tigers to death, get them to fall back and kind of rush forward with maybe some T-34-76s and pick up a surrender. This one I feel like is going to be a very interesting game. At the moment, it's really hard to call. I think you have to favour Xenon.Gun with those Tigers, particularly as there is no kind of anti-tank planes on the side of Gardinha, but at the same time, we've never cast a Juggernaut deck before, so it's going to be very interesting how this one proceeds. Both players still setting up at the moment. Let's have a look at the deployment. So Xenon.Gun, like I said, he is going very defensive at the start. Almost all of his units are out of the transports, and that could give Gardinha an early lead actually. I mean, he doesn't have a hell of a lot of units on the ground right now, but he has more in transports, and it looks like the Guardia will rush forward into this compound. The Pioneers will probably rush forward to the edge of this town. Nothing yet placed by Gardinha down in the centre, but potentially the Sappers I would expect to rush forward into this town, and Xenon.Gun's going to walk his Panzergrens forwards rather than use the transport. An early Gepard coming in, as well as a Panzergren Führer. I was thinking for a moment that was the commander, but the radio icon was ever so slightly confusing me for a second. I'm kind of surprised that this, the Panzerschreck isn't in a transport here, because you'd want to rush that forward to the, the edge of this town, surely. So I'm kind of surprised that he's got that out on foot, and he's going to walk them forward. Gardinha now bringing more units into this central area, and the Guardias and Sappers potentially could look for a push forward onto this compound. He's going to have to deal with the Pak 3850, but he's got quite a few numbers here. He could pick up an early flag with this if he takes this compound. At the moment, Xenon.Gun has nothing down in terms of equipment. So, and I don't think he's placed anything down recently, so Xenon.Gun might be completely out. He might have spent all of his units. I think, was that a Panzer M4 just came down there for Xenon.Gun, so potentially still has a little bit left to spend. A couple of OB-25s coming down onto the field now, and they'll take positions up on the edge of these forests and use the massive sight lines. I mean, look at this position here. Look at the huge area that will cover. Beautiful place to get an OB-25 in, or a ZIS-2 gun. We have got a ZIS-2 gun back here. Kind of surprised by that positioning lock, because if he is deploying it outside the transport, he could just deploy it on the edge of the road where you'd expect. On the edge of the forest, sorry, where you'd expect. Even in here, although it might be too close, I'm kind of surprised by that deployment. I think maybe he's going to move position. Maybe he's just placing it down there for now, and he's going to move position. But no, he isn't. So the game gets underway, and that's this 2-gun. Such a strange spot. So Gardinha rushing into the town. Xenon.Gun's only got a Flammenwerfer, so not enough to hold them back if he does proceed to go for the attack. Gardinha, he isn't pushing forwards into this compound, and that's a bit of a loss for him. I feel like he would lose numbers with the Pak 3850 and the 2 MG42s, but he could definitely capture that compound, no doubt about it. Very conservative start from both players. I guess, they're on balanced and Juggernaut income, but then I could understand this start against like if they were playing balanced against a Vanguard start, or Juggernaut against a Vanguard start, but Juggernaut and balanced, there's not much difference. It's not a massive deal of difference between them until phase C. I feel like income game, if you can play Juggernaut against a balanced, Juggernaut has a nicer income curve because of that end, extra 50 points. You only lose 10 points in the start of the game. That's very little difference. And 20 points in phase B, again, it's quite a minor difference, but you do get that 50 points extra in phase C. So yeah, I'm surprised that neither side is really willing to push forwards. I guess they've set up their defensive positions. Looks like Gardinha is now making a move in the centre area. I guess he's realising the flag's so far forwards, and Xenon.Gun's just bringing in the reinforcements, and that's probably what's going to do the work for him. So really slow start to this game. Looks like the M2A1 just taking position up on the road. I'd like to see Gardinha pushed forward, he could definitely make ground here. I mean, he doesn't know, obviously he cannot see what's there, but right now there is not a hell of a lot that concerns me if I was playing Gardinha in that town. Most of Xenon.Gun's forces are actually up in this northern side, and he's pushing forward some Pioneers and Flammenwerfs, and I'm surprised he's not taken the Panzergrens and the Panzergrenführer with him, as well as the Pak 38, maybe moving that up slightly. But I guess, I mean, in this southern area as well, I guess he was expecting an attack into this flag, which is why he's got the Panzer M4 in the light forest. But it looks like this is where Xenon.Gun's going to make most of his plays. In the early stages, he's spawning in a Panzer 4C and a Panzergren. A very slow start to this game. A Panzer 35S coming into the south with an Aufklar in the SPW 222, and those SPWs can do a great job. Gardinha has the SU-85. I'm kind of surprised by the choice of the two SU-85s early on, because they're 75 points. I mean, they have a great gun, but I kind of would think he would keep that in reserve to wait for a Königstiger. I mean, surely playing against a balanced 21st Panzer, you wouldn't necessarily be expecting a Königstiger immediately in Phase A. I feel like maybe that's why he's bought the SU-85s, is to counter an immediate Königstiger. But I feel like, you know, he could have saved himself some points by not investing in that unit. I mean, this 2-gun could cover this area. He doesn't need the SU-85 as well. The mortar bike coming in, spotting the Flammenwerf moving across the road, but it's going to be too slow to fire on those Flammenwerfers. They're going to be well out of the position. And the OB-25 at the moment holding fire, the Pioneers pushing forwards, opening up on the Gvardia, and Xenon.Gun could make some decent progress in this northern side. It looks like potentially Gardinha. Wow, the Tanko Thessaloniki track's broken on the M3. Yeah, and down it goes. He needed to unload that before the half track went down. So this Pak 3850 just in a nice spot there, but I think Gardinha is potentially realising there's more opportunity, especially around this compound. I mean, he can see how far forward the front line is. He must know there's nothing in that compound, because otherwise, if there was a unit, even in this building back here, the front line will probably be here right now. So because it's so far away from his Gvardia, he's got to know there's nothing actually in this compound. So it just needs some smoke coming down from the mortar half track just to smoke this position off, smoke the Pak 3850 gun, and then just rush up an infantry in a truck and unload it in the compound, and Bob's your uncle, the flag is yours. But in this northern side, this is where Xenon.Gun's choosing to make his moves. The OB-25 is now unlocked, and the T-3476 reinforcement comes in. This 2-gun's still not in a great position, so I think he's clearly bought those to hold back against any early Königstiger push. The SPW 231s will now hammer the OB-25. The other one is taken off hold fire, and there's a Yak 1B Normandy coming in now as well to potentially strafe, although it lost sight of the recon vehicles. The OB-25 unloads, I think, fires out on the Panzergrens, but then does take a heat shell at the SPW 231, bails that one out, and potentially this SPW 231, I think that will take it out before it can respond. Yes, it does. Yak 1B Normandy still flying around. A couple more infantry units coming in to reinforce. The mortars were going to come down on that half track that was bailed out, but a bit late. And potentially, I mean, the sapper unit is bound to go down. It may potentially... No, I don't think it will take this Pioneer. It all depends on whether the Gvardias get into the forest in time. Yeah, it's unfortunate Xenon.Gun hasn't got the Pak 3850 up into this forest, but if the Pak 3850 was here, what a fantastic position that would be. And also here as well for the other one. The Gvardias do unload. And I think they will now take down this Pioneer with the help of the Sappery. Another Sappery coming in, and definitely this forest is going to be recovered by Gardinha. T-34-76 coming into the central position. And Xenon.Gun very early on investing in the Gepard. He has a... I thought he originally had a Gepard in the deployment. Maybe I imagined that one. But right now, Gardinha reacting to Xenon.Gun's push, but I feel like he could definitely make ground in this compound. And potentially, if he was able to get some kind of infantry unit into this area. He's lost the two of the OB-25s now. The T-34-76 should take out the SPW-222 with no problem. He has to worry about the PaK-38, but I reckon he could get an infantry unit down into this position. You know, even a cheap Flammenwerf, they kind of... Xenon.Gun has the Aufklar here, but he's not in a fantastic spot because from the looks of it, the line of sight's fairly limited to this town. But yeah, I think potentially Gardinha could pick up this central flag. More action in the northern side though. This is where all the action is. Gardinha has reclaimed this forest, but the PaK guns are now up into position. They're hammering their fire onto the T-34-76s and the half-tracks, and pretty much all of them are going to go down. The Su-85 crew panicked as well. If that goes down, that's a big loss in terms of points investment. This Xenon.Gun still not in a better position. Surely now the Panzer M4s have come in. Gardinha has to move this Xenon-Gun. Maybe he doesn't realise that where he's put it, maybe he intended to put it on this edge and he just doesn't realise that where it's sat, he's got no line of sight. The M4s are hounding the Gardinha and the Sappery, and they aren't going to last long under the onslaught of the two Panzer M4s. And I feel like Gardinha is going to get overwhelmed in this northern side. The SPW-231, beautiful move forward. Surely that's going to discover the mortar bike, and that's nasty because an SPW in this kind of light forest environment, that is just going to run amok around the back line. It's also going to tell, by the way that SPWs move forward, it tells Xenon.Gun there's no AT gun in this sort of forest line, which you'd expect. I mean, there is one here, but it just cannot see anything. That the mortar bike is discovered and will be taken out. And look, 2 T-34-76 investment just to get rid of this SPW-231. I'd like to see Xenon.Gun kind of move it down to this position, because he must know that, you know, Gardinha is going to react in some way. And I'd love to see it move down here, wait for about 5 minutes, or even potentially run all the way down here. This would be a fantastic position on this edge here, and just wait on efficient shot for any kind of transports coming through. That would be a lovely position. Potentially he's looking to do that. One of the M4s does go down. Xenon.Gun has a half-track, a mortar half-track of his own now, and that's hounding the Tanko Desanikis, and they're pinned down. Yeah, both of those units will surrender. In fact, the Sappery probably would get taken out by the mortars, yes. So the forest is now Xenon.Gun's, and Gardinha is in real trouble. Real trouble. He's got 2 more half-tracks down here, or mortar bikes, sorry, that are not really doing anything. They could kind of move them back up to this northern side where there's a hell of a lot of infantry to take on. And here we have the first Königstigr of the game. We are now into B phase. Xenon.Gun has 2 of these Königstigers in B phase. And I guess maybe Gardinha at that point will finally move the Xenon-Gun forwards. 4 Tanko Desanikis coming in. He really wants to retake this forest, but look at the PaK-38 coming forwards as well. What a move that will be. That will be a very nice short range engagement distance. Down goes the Yak 1B Normandin with the 2 Gepards there. They will happily protect the Königstiger. Fantastic start from Xenon.Gun, and he is, due to the Panzergrenz, picking up this flag down here. And the SPW-231 has moved forward. Look at that position. Absolutely fantastic positioning. That can ambush any transports coming down this road, and now he's got that position and he's going to attack in the centre town. And actually that's very intelligent, because if he now launches the attack, Gardinha is going to have to reinforce the position, so he's going to bring transports down this road past the SPW-231. What a beautiful play that is. Beautiful play. So that half tracks have gone down. The Tanko Desanikes, they are out on their own in the middle of the open, and Tanko Desanikes don't want to be out on their own in the middle of the open. The Königstiger has opened fire, so at last Gardinha, you know, knows a Königstiger's there. He is now bringing forward the Xenon.Gun, but I'm kind of surprised he waited absolutely this long. I mean, that Xenon.Gun's still going to have a hard time taking out a Königstiger frontally, so right now he's retreating the T-34-85s, and I feel like he ought to take them down through this southern side and try and somehow get around the side and get a short range shot onto this Königstiger. That's the only real way he's going to beat that Königstiger. The attack into the town, the Tanko Desanikes get pinned down and taken out. The Panzergrenz moving forwards, but there are 2 Sapper units there, and here comes some reinforcing Sapper. Oh, but the SPW-231 has changed position just at the time when you thought he would be able to get those Sapper kills. He's moved that position. Bit of a shame there from Xenon.Gun. Got 2 more SPW-233s pushing up, and potentially these could take out the Sapperies fairly easily. One's going to open fire on the OB-25, which is responding with the heat shells. And you've got to expect the half track, I think, to go down to any kind of hit. But the OB-25 goes down before the SPWs get hit. And yeah, he's now pushing those SPW-233s into the open. And this position is very vulnerable right now. Xenon.Gun's got the Königstiger just protecting this northern area, and now he's kind of built himself a very, very good defence of this northern flag. We have the ISU-152 coming in from Gardinha, and the SPW-234 is just scouting out what's here. But now he has this northern side on lockdown, at least for the moment, so I like the way that he now is placing more emphasis on the centre ground. Gardinha's moving a T-34-85 Comrotti down. It is transmission damaged, so it is moving rather slowly. It could well get ambushed by one of the pack guns, but I don't think the pack guns are in a fantastic position either. There is a hell of a lot of them are sort of facing down into the town rather than like across the battlefield. Let's have a look. Yeah, I mean, I guess this little ridged area is protecting the kind of gully along the other side, so I guess that's kind of why there's some line of sight issues. I mean, this map I absolutely love for the difference in height. I mean, just look at this valley with the town in it, and then the cliffs on either side. The way this T-34-85, how strong this hill is to get down, firing right across the SPW-233. I mean, it's not one of my favourite maps in terms of actually playing it, and I think Hey Robert was suggesting the other day it feels a bit unbalanced. I'm not so certain it's massively unbalanced, but I don't think it's actually a nice map to play. But it is a beautiful map to look at, absolutely beautiful to look at. So the SPW231 is moving up. He's going to miss the 152, but will it be able to fire on the Sappery in the half tracks? I feel like that was a mistake moving it down from the centre ground to up north, because he must know there's a hell of a lot of tanks up here. So, I mean, he's moved it into a nice position to ambush any infantry coming in, but he must know with the Königstigger in, Gardinha is going to be spawning a hell of a lot of tanks into this area, so I'm kind of surprised that he did that. But we have a lot of T-34 76ers, a lot of armoured vehicles on the field, and not much infantry from Gardinha, apart from this little pocket up here, which I think he tried to spawn in to get into this forest, but unfortunately they've been kind of forced to unload before they can get into position. Xenon.Gun has now taken this central town flag, central city flag, and he has the 1311 now. 18 minutes into the game and 30 minutes on the clock. The Pioneers will engage, yeah, but the TNT coming from the two Sappery squads will, yeah, take those out. And actually, I feel like the strength of these Sapperies, they can actually take out all of the units in this forest. So as long as this Sappery doesn't get pinned down, they can certainly take that forest back. The IL-2 came in there and didn't see the strike that came down. Potentially it was on this central area. One Sappery coming in, just trying to recover the ground, and actually he'd probably be quite successful here because there's nothing that can take out these T-34 76ers. So actually it'd be nice to see one sort of come up this edge, this valley edge, and see another. Oh, in fact, you could just push them all along this valley edge. Although now a Königstigger is coming down into this position, and that will certainly provide more for Gardinha to deal with. So far, he hasn't got rid of the Königstigger on the northern side, but the ZIS-2 now fires. Xenon.Gun just pushing that forward on a fast move. He isn't aware. Oh, he's now giving it an attack move. So I think he's now aware of the ZIS-2 threat. But yeah, that ZIS-2 probably was on efficient shot. The Gardinha has deactivated the weapon and is moving it backwards. The IL-2M strike on one of the infantry, they've lost out in this position. I think the Sapperies had to disengage, and Xenon.Gun reversing back his Königstigger. So I'm very surprised by his move there, that the way that he fast moved, he moved that forward so far forward without. I mean, what I'm trying to say is I like this position here. I mean, there is this flag that you could capture, but actually just hold this northern flag and that's fine. I feel like that's okay, and just reinvest some more resources in holding this central flag. The infantry unit has gone down, but the Königstigger coming into this area really will put the hurt on Gardinha, and he has, like I said, he has to find a way to take out the Königstigers, and so far Xenon.Gun's using them very well. I mean, he's got them, apart from that move forward, he's got it back behind infantry, so he can spot things when they fire, and it's not like there's a danger of any kind of close range attacks from anti-tank weaponry. Pak 3850, I mean, lovely positioning to kind of cover this approach, and potentially Xenon.Gun, he could push through here. I would love to see maybe some units come down here, some infantry units, just along the top of this ridge where they're kind of out of line of sight, and then push maybe down into this forest. You potentially could just push it down the road and down, but that will tip off Gardinha to what he's going to do. But yeah, it'd be lovely if he got some infantry in this bottom forest and then pushed them through. He could really take this rear flag. The Königstigger is now moving forward again. I'm kind of surprised Gardinha isn't trying once again with his ZIS-2 gun. Here we go. Here's the movement order. He still has the weapon deactivated though. He needs to activate that, otherwise it might get spotted without firing. another sapper unit coming into this forest, and Gardinha is not giving up on this forest. Over time, yeah, I think this has hurt him. The Konig's Tiger's reversing again. He doesn't like the position he's in. It's interesting, Xenon.Gun just pushing forwards and then reversing. Lovely position up here with the Pak 38. Look at that sight line. Straight down the reinforcing roads. And the T-34s, they didn't quite get chance to engage. It's interesting as well, you know, Xenon.Gun pushed forward that Konig's Tiger, but no movement from these 4 tanks in the top area. They're all on hold fire, but he could potentially, if he can get the falling back order, he could just fast move all of his tanks here just straight down. And I feel like there are some pack guns here, but I feel like, yeah, they'll take out 1 or 2 tanks, but he could potentially just get the surrender on the Konig's Tiger. So reinforcing with Guardia into that position where I was talking about, the Konig's Tiger moving down with a Pak 43 behind it. Xenon.Gun really, he's not under a hell of a lot of pressure, so he's using his units. I mean, he's not even microed anything down south. He's moved the Aufklav forward, but that's about it. Gardinha is kind of giving Xenon.Gun the free flag by not contesting this compound. The 2 Pioneers potentially are going to now, you know, move into this position and down and really control this area a bit better. But Gardinha is kind of giving Xenon.Gun a free ride right now. He's obviously investing everything he can into the top to try and take back control of this area, but I feel like by now he knows the first Konig's Tiger's there, he knows the second one's there. Surely he's got to be thinking, well, let's invest in the south. I'm not sure. This is I just feel like it's going to be difficult for Gardinha to recover. I feel like maybe he's been losing quite a few trades in this early game, and potentially this could be really difficult for him to recover. I mean, look at that Konig's Tiger's got sight onto the top of this hill for again any reinforcements coming through. The Pak 38 was in a fantastic position and looking down at reinforcements. There's 2 ISUs in there now, so Xenon.Gun rightly so pulling back the Konig's Tiger and bringing forward Panzerschrecks, which I think he's probably going to try and get into this field edge, and that might be quite nice. I'd have loved the Panzerschreck, like I said, to come down into this forest and then just push through this area. He could pick up so many kills. But I feel actually now that Gardinha's pushing these T-34-76s forwards with no infantry, actually 2 Panzerschrecks here could really ambush Gardinha. Got the IL-2s circling at the back. More T-34-76s coming in. We're now into C phase. Gardinha has the income advantage now, but really he's down 14-10 now. And Xenon.Gun's pushing forwards in the south. He's seeking the victory blow. He's actually pushed forwards an SBW 222 into a nice position and pulling back the unit before the T-34-76 can come in. I don't know whether he couldn't have spotted that T-34-76 surely, because unless he did, because that's a recon vehicle and then he's moving it back because he sees the T-34-76 coming forward, but potentially Gardinha can't see him. But that T-34-76, oof, and now Gardinha reversing again, just as the I think Xenon.Gun was waiting for that that T-34-76 to come forward and get Panzerfaust by that Panzergran. The Su-85, yeah, going to easily take out the Panzer. I think that was a Panzer 35S. There's a Focke-Wulf 190A8 now on the field, and a Yak 1B Normandy. But look at the amount of anti-air on the side of Xenon.Gun now. He's really protecting these Konig's Tigers, and nothing's going to get through there. So actually, yeah, choosing now to invest a bit more in his own air force, and he will win the long game in the air warfare at the moment. No anti-air on the side of Gardinha, but some F-22s have now come down. But I don't like the way that Gardinha has just unloaded them right on the road, because any counter battery that comes in, it hits this reinforcement road, and potentially it could be unloading infantry as they come into the battle. I'd have liked them to just move up this road here, just behind this forest, and at least if counter battery's coming down, it's less likely to hit reinforcing units. Look at the number of units on the battlefield right now. I think both players have been playing this game rather conservatively, and a hell of a lot of numbers on the battlefield right now. The Pioneer throwing the satchel charge in, yeah, killing the Gardinha DP, I think it was, down there, and Gardinha has continued to invest and try and pick this forest up, but even if he picks this forest up, he's not going to gain control of this flag again, because of the way that Xenon.Gun controls this this forest here on the edge. He would have to push through further, so I guess he's just trying to recover the positions that he's been placed in. The Panzergrens are going to go down to the Gardinha, and the T-34-85 is going to come up the hill. A hell of a lot of stuff coming into this southern side now. I feel like Xenon.Gun was pretty happy with his northern positions, so he's just pushing for the southern side now. And at this stage, without a single Koenigstiger going down, and knowing that there's probably, well, here comes another one, and there's still another 3 left to bring out, I cannot see Gardinha winning this game. There's just too much stuff on the battlefield now from Xenon.Gun, and the defeat will come in 20 minutes time. I feel like it's going to come sooner than that. I guess Gardinha can now spam out the he's spamming out the artillery at the moment, but again, like, he's leaving them on the reinforcement roads. I feel like we are going to see a counter battery duel eventually, with the SFHs in the rear. Focke-Wulf's coming in now. The IL-2 striking the I think that was the Pak-38 in the tree line. They may well go down here, I believe, to the Focke-Wulf 190A8. Yes, both of them go down. That's a loss, and I think no anti-air on the side of Gardinha right now. I mean, he's obviously got a lot to invest in right now. There's a lot of areas he needs to invest in on the front line. But so I'm not necessarily saying he has to invest in anti-air, but what it does do, it just stretches that lead for Xenon.Gun, because he's now going to know that he can control the air with ease, and so can bring in more of these Focke-Wulf 190 G1s if he has them available, and just hammer the infantry of Gardinha with those bombs. I'm sure, yes, down comes the bombs there on the Sapere. And Xenon.Gun picks up the flag and gets the surrender on the it was the T-34 there, wasn't it? Also gets the kill with the Koenigstiger in the centre, and we just need a Koenigstiger in the south now, and all 4 major avenues of attack will be covered by a Koenigstiger. Well, we've got 6 T-34-76s coming into this centre-south area, but there's just too much stuff here. Those alone are not going to get the job done. Gardinha needs at least infantry with it, and then we're talking so other support weapons as well. And he doesn't have really the infantry resources to fight a long drawn-out battle. I'm wondering whether he may be kind of, surely don't think he'll be low on infantry resources, but he only had 1 sea phase card for a Juggernaut deck, so I mean, he doesn't have masses of infantry. This isn't a Juggernaut infantry deck, it's a Juggernaut tank deck. And look at the T-34-76 has been spawned in from Gardinha. he's looking to go for this southern side, and actually he could overwhelm the forces here. I mean, once he gets to this position though, we're going to see the Königsklasse come back and, you know, back to this crossroads and fire downwards, and we'll probably see reinforcements coming in. But wow, a hell of a lot more coming as well. Just more T-34s, this time T-34-85 being spawned, more T-34-76s, and Gardinha, he's pushing down his other ones down south, and this is just going to be a major amount of T-34s. He's going to go for some kind of major T-34 push here. Oh, and he does get the counter battery in onto the SFH 396, so those F-22s, they're on the counter battery. Then I'm not necessarily on the counter battery order. I think he's manually ordering this counter battery. But yeah, I don't think that SFH is going to last too much longer. But look at the accuracy, very very rare accuracy. I mean, I'm surprised. Luckily, it's not been a direct hit, but he's basically hit everything around it apart from the actual artillery piece itself. I want to catch this tank rush in the southern area. This is unbelievable. More being spawned in, and he's just going for a literal, oh my days. Xenon.Gun has seen it. Xenon.Gun has absolutely seen this coming. This could be devastating. This could be absolutely devastating, guys. Oh, it's a shame he hasn't targeted that to come down the road. Wow, only one tank lost by that Ju-88 S1. That is unbelievable. I'm surprised. He should have retargeted that, or he should have like repositioned it so it flew in down here and then just straight along this road. But unbelievable that only took out one T-34-76, and look at this tank rush coming in right now. This has at least some potential. We've got a Königsklasse now in the south. The fighter, the At-1B that was chasing that Ju-88, that's gone down. There's a Focke-Wulf 190 G1. I mean, this potentially could see some progress, but Gardinia's down 17-7. He needs some infantry to recover these rear two flags. But look at this T-34 push. The Königsklasse has come down as predicted. In fact, it's another one. So we're seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Königsklasse on the field right now. I think there's one more left in the deck. The Panzerfaust is obviously the Pioneer, sorry, obviously discovered. Some of the T-34s have gone down, I think probably to the surrenders from the air attacks. The Königsklasse is tanking a lot of damage right now. T-34 is going down to the Panzerschreck. Gardinha is still pushing them through. This Panzerschreck is going to surely take, yeah, well, he got the falling back. Oh, now he's pushing forward with infantry. But he's just pushing these T-34s. He's trying to get the Königsklasse kill, but even at this range, there's just no chance of penetration. The second one's come in and is taking side shots. And I would have rather them just completely fast moved up this road. And rather than now sort of, he's trying to take on the Königsklasse with the T-34-76s. And even, it's just not going to happen. It's not going to work. I mean, it was a bad idea from the start, but entertaining at least, I guess. And look at just the number of defensive positions that Xenon.Gun's got. He's pulling back Panzer IV Cs, he's pushing forwards Panzer IV Gs, he's got Königsklasse everywhere. Basically, he's spawning in more Panzer IV H's. The infantry is finally going to get to the front, but absolutely all of those T-34-76s are going to be taken out before those infantry get there. The Königsklasse, I think this was a misguided push by Gardinha. Yeah, there goes the surrender. I think maybe he actually felt like that game was lost and he was just having some fun there with that final tank push. But unbelievable tank push. Congratulations goes to Xenon.Gun. He picks up the victory, and look at the kills to loss ratio. And not one of those Königstigers got taken out. And yeah, those second guards tank corps, they really hurt in that matchup. The Pack 3850 did a great job in that northern area. The two that came forward picked off a hell of a lot of units. The Königstiger here didn't take out too much, but it was just, this one did a grand job taking out the T-34s, but they're just immovable objects for the second guards tank corps. You have to overwhelm them with numbers, and right from the start, really. For me, the second guards tank corps are a very strange division because they rely on great numbers. They rely on quantity over quality, which, you know, means that you want to take them sort of balanced and juggernaut because they are the biggest income types. So you want to get out as many tanks as possible, and you get the most tanks in C phase, you know, from the card system. You get more of the T-34s in C phase than you can do in B and A. But then at the same time, you need to get the numbers out early, otherwise this exact thing happens where they can't overwhelm very heavy armors, especially when they're built up. So then you're like, well, I want to take them on Vanguard and Maverick income, but you know, by the late phase they fall off. It's a strange division. It kind of lends itself to a mass spam of T-34s, which you want to take, you know, a balanced income to get the most T-34s possible, but then at the same time you can't, because you're just going to lose the game by then. Yeah, very strange division. So congratulations to Xenon.Gun, commiserations to Gardinha, and Xenon.Gun moves through to face here Robert in the semi-final of Brawl on Brest. So thanks very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this, please give me the thumbs up, and it helps with the YouTube algorithm. Otherwise, please catch me again tomorrow. We'll be back for more Brawl on Brest action, and I believe it will be my game next, AngryBird versus Amber T. So join me for that one next time. Thanks very much for watching. I am AngryBird. I will see you next time.